Sports Town. Straub Bros Sports Show. This is the Straub Bros Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey. College game day and Thursday night. Hey. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E. Two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bros Sports Show. Sports Show. Hey.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Straub Bros Sports Show. Big Bro Ken rocking with you as always, joined by my most trusted sidekick, unless it's an all-star game, little bro Drew. Drew, how was your little Nashville Halloween vacation excursion drunk fest with your brothers?
It was absolutely amazing. I won a costume contest, by the way. So
with that horrible SpongeBob costume?
So suck it to all of you that were making fun of my costume. I don't want to hear it. No, I had a great time. It was great to see him again. But no, listen, we're back locked in. It was election day, Ken. Hope you voted. Hope everyone voted. But also NFL trade deadline day, so we're gonna get into that as well.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna save it. We've struggled the last couple of weeks to be able to get through this NFL segment because a lot of these teams are mid, a lot of these teams suck, and I don't want to talk about a lot of these games. So we've got some. Listen, I said it last week or 2 weeks ago when Brian Kelly got fired. There's three things that make somebody who does a show like this happy: trades, firings, and great games. We had 2 out of the 3 this weekend, bro. So we've got a lot to talk about. First things first, let me cut the music out. Let me reset it just to make sure that when I come back in at the end of the show, I'm playing the right song. Secondly, we love you, Mama. Mama's in the building. Representing. All right. Something's got to give here. I apologize. I'm clanking in the background and it's bothering me. All right, we're good. By the way, my I-9 Sports Medal, shout out to both of my undefeated teams because I don't just do one. We do dose undefeated teams up in this boy. And shout out to your nephew who picked up a goal this weekend that dad barely saw because dad was turning around. Oh, yeah. Oh, and the golf swings. I'm in trouble. But welcome into the Straub Bros Sports Show. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to get to. First things first, I did mention it, and I got to give the shout out. I was blessed to do both of the PAFL All-Star games this weekend, both the 2A and the 3A. Drew, I just have to mention this because it's crazy and ridiculous. And it makes me humbled to do the things that we do and that I'm able to do. And I definitely wish you could have been there with me. First of all, shout out to my guy Stash, who was coaching in the 2A All-Star game. Okay. Big shout out to him, my guy there. Drew, we are at, I want to get the official numbers because they're the only ones that matter. We're over like 10,000. We're almost to like 10,000 people who have combined seen both All-Star games. So shout out to all of you. Big shout out to Daniel. And of course, our guys at the Rapids who shared and whooped butt in our All-Star game as well. Darwin was making some plays. Our boy Sean Smith Jr. absolutely killed it. Mark Hale was laying hits on folks. It was absolutely amazing. And always shout out to my guy Sterling as well. Always appreciate you tapping in with us, bro. So yeah, big shout out to Jermaine, the owner, commissioner of the PAFL, for bringing me in and being allowed to do it. Bad shout out to you because holy crap, that was difficult to do by myself. And I told you privately, I miss your camera work so well. And Daniel, you better back the Brinks truck up to make sure my brother is with us again this year because I cannot do that by myself. But all right, let's get rolling into the sports, bro. And we're going to start with the end of the baseball season quickly. The West Coast Evil Empire strikes again, makes it 2 years in a row. Hats off to the Toronto Blue Jays. Amazing World Series. An amazing Game 7. Probably, I mean, you've got to argue it's one of the best Game 7s of all time. Hey, we appreciate you checking with us as well. Sorry, I almost lost my train of thought. One of the best Game 7s in history. Shout out to Armand for checking in with us. Drew, you know why they lost? Do you know why Toronto lost?
Because they gave up a home run to the 9 batter in Game 7.
First of all, yes. Hey Siri, play Dodger Blue by Kendrick Lamar. No. Yes, but the reason that home run was given up because you trusted a former Cleveland Guardian to be out there pitching. Shout out to Shane Bieber, who gave up the game-winning home run. Yes, I'm a hater. I do not care. I did not want to see to be a Guardians fan. If it was just Shane Bieber, it's a different story. But I'm sorry, I can't be a legitimate Guardians fans, a legit Guardians fan, and root for Andres Jimenez and Miles Straw to win a championship. Nah, man. Yes.
You also forgot the person who just tied the amount of hits in the playoff series. My boy Ernie Clement, giving him no shout outs whatsoever.
Nope, completely forgot about that. But I liked Ernie. I wish we would have kept Ernie.
No, but this one, as a neutral, is an amazing series. However, as someone who really is into the atmosphere of baseball and kind of the ins and outs of it, a team like Toronto winning would have done the sport in terms of my kind of fans so good. Thank you, Morgan. But I think the issue is that the Dodgers winning it's so much like the Yankees winning, where it's basically telling the MLB, hey, you just need to spend more money. And I don't like that.
Hold on. I gotta stop you there. You had me until that. Toronto has a top 5 payroll.
I will bring up the gap regardless.
Listen, and now hold on. And I did address that because when I even mentioned that Toronto was a top 5 payroll, I did say Toronto's still here. LA just exceeds what everyone is doing. However,
and that's the difference, though, in a Game 7.
I get, and I understand that, but let's also not act like Toronto didn't buy this team together.
No, and you're absolutely right. But they also brought up Bo Bichette through the draft, brought up Vlad Guerrero through the draft. This is also a team that they have brought up and cultivated. It's not like the Dodgers, where I would say maybe 2 of those guys on the roster are guys that they truly developed in their own system. Listen, a great series. Just the only thing that would have made the series better is the team that hasn't made the World Series in 30 years won, and not the team that is going to win it for the next 5. Someone also said that the 2037 Dodgers payroll is more expensive than the 2027 Cleveland Guardians roster currently. Just going to put that out there. Something to look forward to.
I mean, being a big city, you want that biggest payroll. So I want to get his comments in. So first of all, I got to give the hello shout out first. Shout out to my guy Ray. And as always, that is a good one. Better mats would have helped Toronto.
Game 7, did you see they sprayed foam underneath the mat so it wouldn't go underneath? Crazy.
And yes, he's absolutely correct. We definitely
absolutely correct.
Cultivated part of that team.
However, but Ernie Clement was batting at 200, and so was Andres Jimenez and Miles Straw. So we can't take total credit for that.
Listen, hater.
Yeah, but a great series, regardless. And a great playoffs, regardless.
Seriously, it made me love baseball again. I had checked
the whole AL playoff bracket. Amazing.
Absolutely. All right, bro. I know this pains you. For the first time in 11 weeks, This man has not worn a Cincinnati Bearcats shirt on the show. No, it's been a lot. I know we've only done the show for like 4 weeks, but whatever. It's time to talk college football, bro. You gotta suck it up this week. A little bit. All right. Same thing as last time. Our new little Tuesday review format. We're going to roll through the top 25. Little bro is going to stop me when we actually should talk about one of these games. And this has become a very, very common theme, which I hope doesn't trip them up when they actually play someone good. But we start at the top with the number 1 team in the country, Ohio State. 38-14 over Penn State. I'm not even going to allow you to rant about Penn State because it's just unfair if you were to try to crap on them.
It don't matter anymore. It don't matter anymore.
No, it doesn't matter anymore. Figure out a coach, I guess. You stay the hell away from
top 2 prospects are gone.
Yeah, the top. I mean, who do you consider the top 2 prospects?
Indiana's head coach and Matt Rule from Nebraska were the 2 they were looking at.
Yeah, Cincinnati and Rule both signed long-term contracts. Congratulations, Indiana, Nebraska. Speaking of Kurt Cignetti and those Indiana Hoosiers, absolutely tore apart Maryland, 55-10. Same thing. Awesome. You're doing great. You're playing how you should. I'll meet you. Actually, we'll talk tomorrow or Thursday when the rankings come out tonight. But other than that, we'll see you down the line. Actually, we'll have something to complain about Thursday because all of you are going to bitch about something no matter what. Texas A&M and Alabama both off this week. Alabama. Georgia. Here we go. 24-20 winners over Florida. And this is all I'm going to say. And I'm going to full box us on this one. This is why I do a Straub Sneaky Saturday. This is why I put those games in there. This game was in there. The score tells you why. I don't care what Florida's record looks like. The talent on that roster is top 25. That talent on that roster is probably top 15. They're going to play up to the competition. They swung in with Georgia. What concerns me now is the amount of times I'm watching Georgia play down to the competition. Not necessarily bad competition, but the competition that we think at this point in the season, they should be handling.
No, I think you're right. However, we do say every year Florida has a couple of these games where they look way better than they should. Things just kind of align because of like that talent, as you were saying. I'm not going to put too much into it because Georgia has had these kind of games, I want to say, for the past 4 or 5 seasons, and they've won national championships in those seasons. So I'm not going to put too much into it, but yeah, it's obviously something we need to discuss because as a top 5 team in the nation, you should be in a 4-point game against Florida.
Absolutely. I want to pause for a second. I want to give a shout out to this guy right here, not for just for his shout out, my man Dylan. Pulled up on the All-Star game because guys were needed, and I look out. And all of a sudden, I seen the route getting run. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Dylan. I know my man when he's out there. So shout out to Dylan, who also participated in the All-Star game. I'm just happy to see this man healthy because that man's a difference maker when he's healthy. But, Drew, I agree with you as well. Georgia does this. It's still concerning to me, but Georgia does do this. This is what happened to them last year when they ran into the buzzsaw that was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You can hey, we were in the playoffs, no offense. That
was the most unnecessary shot ever. I just made fun of you because I think every single one of your playoff games was like a 3-point victory. What buzzsaw are we talking about here? And then you just throw the shot at me like I haven't been in constant pain for the past 2 years.
First of all, yes, you're 100% right. They were all like 3-point games. And listen, just because the buzzsaw has no blades left and they're dull doesn't mean it's not a buzzsaw, damn it. So back to my point. This is the problem, though, that happens with Georgia now. You can't just skate through, get to the one big game, blow a team out, and win a national championship anymore.
Yeah,
you've got the grind of the playoffs, and eventually those close games will clip you. But still time. And like I said, none of these – I'm not doing any rankings. Obviously, I'm going to wait for the committee, but none of these rankings that you're looking at in front of you mean a damn thing this week. We get the real ones. And
except
by the way,
for mine, because I was still in the top 25, so that one still counts.
Sorry, buddy. Shout out to our Cuzos in the building. Other than your Packers blowing my parlay, we'll talk about you later. Yep, you're getting shots off rip.
So bad.
I am. Let's keep rolling. Oregon off this week. Doesn't matter. Ole Miss. 30-14. I skipped. I saw the wrong score. 30-14 over South Carolina. Congratulations for not falling into what I thought could be some kind of trap after the big game last week. However, we'll move on because we got a good one coming up back to back here. Georgia Tech. 48-36 losers to NC State. Bro, the Yellow Jackets finally run out of stingers. There was no way I wasn't getting a pun in there. I mean, they were kind of just pushed around by NC State, to be honest. Like, they got dominated in this game. This was not a good look. Like I said, this is a statement week. This was your last chance to put a first impression on the committee before they already kind of have a blueprint of how they feel like you're going to be. And this was not a good egg delay this week.
No, and the issue was Georgia Tech, I wouldn't say has been playing close games, but the defense definitely has been giving up points. And I think this is definitely a time where they gave up too much for the offense to come back. It seemed like every time Georgia Tech got within a touchdown, NC State put up more points and kept putting them up. And so, yeah, you can't give up 48 to NC State and expect to kind of stay high in the rankings there. I wouldn't say this was bound to happen because they've been looking good, but the defense was definitely telling me that at some point they were going to have to pull one out when the defense was letting them down, and they just couldn't this week.
I agree. The problem now, and for a team like Georgia Tech, have you been figured out? Still time. This NC State team, listen, I was high on this NC State team this year. They kind of underperformed, in my opinion. They had a good foundation last year and they were rolling towards the end of the year as well. It kind of fell apart this year, and I'm not really 100% sure why, but they showed up this week. And yeah, a tough egg delay for Georgia Tech, but we'll see. Like I said, right now, because of the way another result went this week, the door in the ACC kind of wide open for a couple teams right now, actually. So we'll talk about that in a second. Pops is in the building. Let's go. You already know. Let's roll. Moving down the line. Here we go. Vanderbilt. 34-31 losers to Texas. This is the funny part about Texas this season. Even with a team like Vanderbilt, who normally we don't have in the national conversation all like that, I'm more disappointed in them losing this game than I was impressed with Texas for winning it.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think the issue is it's not that Texas is this powerhouse and Vanderbilt came in and gave it their best shot and they just, they came up a little bit short. But hey, impressive on Texas. No, that is not the story here. The story is Vanderbilt came in to a very, very loud and raucous Texas stadium that usually isn't that loud and raucous when they come. And for the first half, completely fell apart and did not know how to handle the noise, the trickery, the not being able to communicate as effectively, the stalling of drives. And you know what? Listen, second half, they figured it out. They turned it around. And if that's a four-quarter performance, Vanderbilt wins that game easily. And there's no problem there. The issue is it was a 2-quarter performance, and you dug yourself a 17-point hole going into halftime. And so that is the result you get. Listen, I think Vandy should still be high up. I think they have a lot to give, especially showing that second-half performance. But that's a massive letdown in what's been an amazing season so far.
Yeah, it's no different. I apologize, I dropped something. That is no different than what we talked about for Georgia Tech. Like, you had a real opportunity to win that game, show the committee, hey, I may have lost to Alabama, but I still belong here in the upper echelon of the SEC. And when you have an undefeated Texas A&M, a 1-loss Alabama, a 1-loss Georgia, a 1-loss Ole Miss, you're going to get lost in the shuffle when you have hiccups like this. Because, listen, we can talk about who's on the committee and where their bias is and whether they're SEC guys or whether they're Big Ten guys or whether they're smart and they're all Notre Dame guys. We could argue about that for days. At the end of the day, Vanderbilt is not a school that on a consistent national level has proven to be a winner year in, year out. So when you fall and stumble to the two teams in the SEC that were picked very high preseason, obviously Alabama wasn't necessarily picked high. You know what I mean? Texas was, but two of the upper echelon teams in the SEC, and you lose to them both, there's going to be a lot of people on that committee that are going to go, no. They're not that good. I may disagree with them, but you have to have the results.
I agree.
So, all right. BYU off this week. And the L's just kept coming this week. Miami was on upset alert. Miami, I put on that graphic for a reason. This is why I do this. I know my college football. 26-20 losers to SMU. I'm very disappointed in this one. I know this SMU roster is talented, but they've lost a couple games this year because they have just flat out not played well. I expected more from Miami. That new kickoff get you.
I know I talked about it. Like this SMU team, at its best, I think could beat most teams in college football. However, this is a stark reminder to the Miami fans, board, whatever you want to say, that no matter how high your draft class or your recruiting class is, if you don't have the coach to get results, you are not going to get anywhere. And I think that is consistently the problem with Miami is you have constantly top 5 recruiting classes, top 5 transfer classes. However, every year, Miami has 2 to 3 of these games where you go, how did they lose this after dropping 50 last week? And it's exactly this, because you don't have a coach that either A, gets them motivated every single week, or B, doesn't know how to adjust on the fly to a team that's causing them problems, or C, both. I think that's the problem with Mario Cristobal as well. The players are there. The talent is top 5, top 3 in the nation. But if you can't be consistent every week, that's a coaching problem.
This is tough because we don't, unless it's Brian Kelly, we really don't like to rip coaches on this show.
I don't, but it's there.
But at some point,
everything is there.
Right. It's about time to look in the mirror if you're in Miami, like you said, and realize this guy just is here, but we demand to be here. And I may shock you. Do you know who they actually should hire? And do you know who I actually think would be a good fit for that program?
James Franklin.
Brian Kelly. The one place that I'm actually tapped into the sports radio and fan base is Miami because of how much Dan Le Batard I've listened to over the years and still listen to. That is a cocky fan base that enjoys being cocky. They like to be cocky. They are not, oh, we're winning, so we're going to be cocky. They are just like, no, this is what we do. We're Miami. Who fits that better than Brian Kelly?
I think the issue is the reasons why LSU got rid of Brian Kelly are going to be the same reasons in like 3-4 years that Miami would get rid of Brian Kelly, where he's very hands-off. He doesn't get into the player. He doesn't get the players motivated. And when you get down to the big games, he can't win them. And I think Miami needs to be national title contenders almost yearly to be considering a coach that should stay there.
The only reason I say that, though, is Miami kind of reminds me of where Notre Dame was in the middle of when we got Brian Kelly, which was we couldn't win any big games, and we also tripped up. Then he comes in, he wins some big games. He doesn't really trip up against the smaller teams. Every once in a while we would, but for the most part, we handled our business. We would lose to freaking Clemson and Alabama every year. Trust me, I watched the damn games. I know. That standard right now is above where Miami is at. So if he came in there and still lost the ACC championship game, but ran through the rest of that crappy schedule, Miami's like, okay, we're here. We're all right for a couple of years. I'm not saying he's going to go there and win it all. I think that's a fit. I don't think James Franklin's a fit there, but
I think the issue is I think Miami fans demand more than a national or a ACC championship appearance.
You also have to fit the culture there in Miami. That's a different breed. That's a different place. It's
Sure.
It's not like most college places. You have to fit the culture there too. So, but yes, and Pops is right. I gotta give Pops credit here. Some coaches only go so far, and that's why they get recycled. Also, Nate is not going to miss his opportunity to take shots at Brian Kelly. So, and he's also all over you today because I made fun of his Packers off rip. All right, let's keep it rolling. My Notre Dame Fighting Irish struggle bus. Yeah, no, just for the record, 25-10 is a nice score. Struggle bus. That was a 12-7 game until like sometime deep in the third quarter. Yeah.
Well, if your kicker would make his kicks, that would be good. That's what it would be.
I know. It's not like we don't have soccer players that can become NFL stars at kicker, but nonetheless, we'll keep that rolling. Texas Tech, welcome back. 43 to 20 winners over Kansas State. Well done there. Tennessee and Oklahoma. 33-27. Oklahoma takes the victory. Drew, we talked about it. Hey, this Oklahoma team can get into these games where they hold you. It's a close game. It's a tight game, and their defense comes through. However, that's still Oklahoma, Brody. You want to get into a shootout? Boom, boomer sooner, baby. We got you. We'll put 33 right on your head. Boom. Great game. But, I mean, same old Tennessee. It doesn't matter if it's an SEC opponent or a brand new one that came from the Big 12. Same old Tennessee.
I think you're right. And I think what surprised me the most here was I was watching this game, and in about the third quarter, you saw Tennessee start. Well, I would say in the first half, they were all over Oklahoma, and Oklahoma kept it close. But then in the third quarter, you start to see Tennessee try to make some separation. And I went, okay, this is where Tennessee, the offense kicks into another gear and they move on. And it kind of just sputtered. And Oklahoma, I think, sensed that and absolutely took advantage of it. And I'm truly surprised at this result, just because I think when you look at the two programs and where they're at right now, Tennessee is a much more established system in terms of their coach, in terms of their scheme. They were at home. It was a night game. That it all signs point towards
all that.
All signs point towards Tennessee was going to come away with this. And then Oklahoma does what Oklahoma has done in critical games this season: slow the game down, march down the field, score, and then absolutely unleash their defensive line against offenses and close the game out. And that was a massively impressive win for me. I think if we've talked about teams that stumbled to make a statement going into this CFP rankings, I think Oklahoma was the other way and made a massive statement towards, we are not dead. This is still our season to make it in. And I think that was a really, really big win against a team that honestly I think was fighting for their CFP hopes in that game, and you saw it.
This is the exact opposite of the Texas game.
Yeah.
I was more disappointed in the team that lost than I cared about Texas winning. I cared that Oklahoma won this game. Absolutely. Statement game. They've got a quarterback who's now getting healthy, and when healthy, he's arguably the best quarterback in the nation. That's something that's going to play into the committee's mind when they go, okay, yes, Oklahoma does have 2 losses. Hey, I'm not there. I got 2 of those as well. And they're not looking well. Only one of them's looking good right now. But okay, they stumbled. However, it was a rivalry game. It was a ranked game. Okay, things can be overlooked when you're making statement wins like this. So like I said, we'll see tonight. Did you get a time for me yet? That's fine.
For
Before the end of the show, let me know when the rankings are.
it's 7:00. I think it's always 7:00.
We'll see if I can try to figure out how to watch it. ESPN and YouTube TV, you jerks. Figure it out. Moving on. Virginia, 31-21 over Cal. They finally
that one really wasn't close, but
it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was the credit I was going to give Virginia for finally not playing a close one, even though it was a 10-point victory, which may seem close. But
Cal just scored late.
Absolutely. Louisville, 28-16 winners over Virginia Tech. However, I'm going to stop here for a second because I mentioned it with Georgia Tech, and I said the result earlier was going to still keep the door open for Georgia Tech. That result being Miami losing. So Georgia Tech still in the driver's seat in the ACC. However, Virginia and Louisville now looking ahead going, well, wait a minute, guys. Don't forget about us. So still a lot to play for in the ACC. Wide open. Same as the Big 12. Speaking of the Big 12, normally we let you talk a lot here, but maybe I'll take over a little bit today. Cincinnati, I mean, I got to be honest with you, absolutely drubbed in Utah, 45-14. Drew, you kind of tried to argue with me at last week when I mentioned that your starting running back was out, and you were like, no worries, nah, man. It hurt, and honestly, you couldn't get anything going, bro.
We made, I would say, every type of mistake you could make going into a night game on the road against a prove-it team. We had many penalties, especially in key drives and times. We had multiple turnovers, one or two of them in the red zone. We let Utah have very long drives and got costly penalties and allowed them to convert on third downs and not get off the field to continue drives. We let Utah basically control the game. And as a team that basically their whole mentality is to control the game and the possession and to make the other offense play catch up, that is the worst thing you can do. And I noticed it from the first drive because Utah had the first drive, and it was 3 or 4 third down conversions and just constant not being able to get off the field when you should have. And then the offense couldn't respond once or twice, and it snowballed from there.
You're 100% right. Doom and gloom. However, let me speak to the committee who are meeting right now. Okay. Don't do my brother dirty like that. What I would prefer to see is basically just you and Utah maybe flip spots, or, Utah get a boost. I don't believe that should knock you out of the top 25. It is your second loss, so that does hurt you. But I still think because of the way the Big 12 has been, I still think you deserve to be in the running. Or what I would say is, because this is how the AP poll has been, you guys lose, you're out, you win the next week, and you're back in. So I don't want to see you very far. The thing is, though, Big 12 wide open. Like, the only team sitting there with one loss right now is Texas Tech. I'm sorry, BYU undefeated. But you have... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and we're going to talk about it in the review on Thursday, they play each other this week.
Right. So things are going to help you. And if Cincinnati continues to take care of business, you'll be where you will be there. You take care of business, you're going to find yourself in the college football playoffs. You stumble, you're not. I mean, not that that's not the same for everybody, but it's very cut and dry for you.
No, I agree. And I think the issue is we have to win out, and that includes Arizona, BYU, and TCU. So
I know that, but which also tells you have the road there to complete it. But I don't want to lose you, so let's keep it rolling. Os, we will We're going to find out tonight if we actually need to worry about Memphis as Notre Dame fans, but we'll handle that on the side. We talked about Oklahoma, Missouri, much needed week off. We talked about Texas, Michigan, 21-16 with Purdue. You
Oh, I
give
thought
up
I said
16.
6. You're right.
Yeah, 21-16 to Purdue. You give up 16 points to Purdue.
I think I didn't get to watch this game. I'm pretty sure they lost their starting quarterback.
Michigan?
Yes.
Haha. Well, I hope he's okay, but sorry. The bias came out there. That's a tough loss for Michigan. Hopefully they're able to rebound from that and
It
keep
was a
going.
win. But you mean injury. Gotcha.
I don't wish the kid to be healthy, but I don't wish good things for Michigan. Houston, we have a problem. This very talented Houston. I got them good this week. This very talented Houston team that you talked up very highly last week went out and laid an absolute egg to our West Virginia Mountaineers, 45-35 losers. Haha. Go West Virginia.
No, that's a young program that can have really high highs but really low lows. And listen, we beat the defending Big 12 champs Arizona State last year, and then lost to West Virginia last year, who I think was worse than they were this year. So I know this feeling. You just got to keep building.
Drew has Cincinnati. You're over here. I have Notre Dame. We together collectively as a family have West Virginia. Rich Rod, you finally put the quarterback in who could run and throw, and you score a lot of points and win a game. Maybe we should go back to the formula that won you a lot of games before. I care way too much about a 3-5 program. Moving on. USC 21-17 winners over Nebraska. I got to take the L. This is it. I have to take the L. I tried to say Nebraska would be back. Y'all have absolutely screwed me. Then you hired your coach for a 10-year extension. I give up. Go live in the cornfield. Jesus.
I mean, it was a good game, and I think USC played good enough defense somehow. But I think it's more the Nebraska offense is just sputtering to the finish line here.
It sucks. Dylan Raiola is overrated. I'm done with the whole program. I really am. The volleyball team, that's what I watch because their women's volleyball team is legit really amazing. And they probably put more butts in the stands than they do the freaking football team. All right. We talked about Utah. And then lastly, congratulations, Memphis. 38-14 winners over Rice. Sure, if you are ranked, if they are going to give me problems, I'm going to be so upset. Listen, and I can't believe he's still there. I would have fired him after losing to Minnesota, but that's just me. But yes, that'll do it for your top 25. Hold on. No. We're going to take a quick pause, and then after our pause, we will turn the show over to our quarterback guru. I thought about playing the Rapids All-Stars again, but the All-Star game is over. I said I would retire it after the All-Star game. So before Drew gets to talk about his bakery or his quarterbacks, I get to talk about bakery.
Ken Straub here for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, the official bakery of the Straub Bros Sports Show. And I'm also here with
Stella
and
Landon Straub.
And boys, do we have a lot to tell everyone about today. Schmoopy's is your go-to for all your bakery needs. Gluten and dairy-free options for muffins, cheesecakes, rolls, breads, cupcakes, cake pops, pies, cakes, you name it, it's there. And boys, what do we think?
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
Me too, boys. So, if you need anything, especially in this fall time, make sure you get in your orders for pies and pumpkin rolls and cinnamon rolls. Place your order now at
Smoopy's Sweets and Treats.
Sweets and Treats. I love it. Shout out to Paula, and then shout out to Cole and Landon for really making that commercial come true. All right, Drew. It is time for the best segment in college football. It's time for Drew's quarterback watch.
Yes, and we had so many this week. Like I almost had to expand the graphic, but I got them all in.
Just for there's one that better be there again. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sorry. I was waiting. I was seeing. Listen, there was so much good quarterback play. I had to cut it, and so we're gonna walk through this. All right. First, leading in passing yards, Walker Egan in San Jose State, 458 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Playing, we're gonna go down this a little bit. Micah Alejado in Hawaii, 367 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Just an absolute barn burner of a game, and I absolutely love it.
You don't got to tell me about my San Jose State Aztecs and my Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Those are my guys.
Going over to Power 5, Clemson, Cade Klubnik, 385 passing yards and 2 touchdowns in a loss.
Who?
And I know he's on the list, but you know the funny thing is, in a loss to Duke, by the way,
Can I
on the list? I would say he's on the list down. Darian Mensah, 361 passing yards and 4 touchdowns to beat them 49-48. Next, we got a couple. Anthony Colandrea, 382 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Owen McCown from UTSA, 370 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Kevin Jennings in the upset, 365 passing yards and a touchdown. Pavia from Vandy is back on the list, 365 passing yards and 3 tutties. And Jeff Sims from Arizona State, 177 passing yards, a passing touchdown with an interception, but 228 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Disgusting.
Both Scatterboo numbers. I'm so sorry that I almost tried to hijack Drew's quarterback watch. I get excited. Okay. I apologize. Your own segment hypes me up and I get excited. Shout out to you. 4 quarterbacks on there in which they had a matchup. Shout out to both losing quarterbacks for being on there.
Also, who were you looking for?
No. Well, I was looking for your kid from North Texas because they upset Navy and put the whooping on Navy. So
but he didn't play that well. And maybe a little bit of hater came out that they beat Navy, but he also didn't play as well as those guys either.
I got you. Well, he's my guy now. I just want to point this out before we jump out of college football and go to my bets. Hey, Dabo Swinney, after losing to Duke, you better get it together before you're coaching at Duke. Because there's only it's not good, and it's now been consistently not good. And we talked about this. It's getting worse. There's that program that he took from here, always losing. They would Clemson. It was a verb. They would Clemson a game. He took them up to the top, and it is literally starting to come all the way back down to the bottom. He doesn't believe in the NIL. He doesn't believe in the transfer portal. Then, dude, retire. You're not old like Nick Saban. All of these other guys, the Kirby Smarts, all of the older coaches have gotten in with it, and the younger guys are eating it up. The Marcus Freemans, the Dan Lannings, even Kurt Signetti's in on it, and he's not a younger guy. So Signetti, Kirby Smart, they're bought in. The younger guys, the Lane Kiffins, the Marcus Freemans, the Dan Lannings, they've already bought all the way in. Your ass is a dinosaur, and you're going to be fired from the job that you like and you want if you don't get it together. And I sit and I work with a guy who graduated from Clemson, and he flat out says it. We're done. And it reminds me of Notre Dame with Brian Kelly. Although we didn't have the national championship wins, because that would have bought him a lot more time, there came to a point where we were done because this isn't working anymore. Not where we want it. Clemson is now back to a point where they can look at Dabo and go, what are you bringing? And we talked about this, and I don't want to just pile on Dabo, but it angers me because I'm tired of having to talk about a Clemson team that all offseason and all preseason gets hyped up to hell because they got the #1 draft pick and all of this stuff to go out there and crap the bed for multiple games throughout the year. We talked about this dude succeeding Nick Saban at Alabama. I'm not sure there's a team in the SEC that should hire him right now. And that is a crazy fall. All right. I'm done yelling. All right.
Very passionate about a Clemson team over there.
I know. All right. Big Bros, big bets. We had a bad week, and we pulled it in for an okay week this week. So we went 3-3 on our locks, some of which kind of isn't our fault. First of all, North Texas, thank you. Absolutely steamrolled Navy. Sorry, bro. Blah, 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 blah. Houston, what the hell? Minus 13 and over half, just got whooped by
even
Virginia.
win.
Virginia. Right, didn't even win. Louisville, minus 10 over half over Virginia Tech. Appreciate you. Wyoming and San Diego State. Come on, guys. Get it together. Score the points that you were supposed to. You guys didn't. Auburn and Kentucky. Come on. Both of these, Kentucky has scored like 30 points a game in every game. Auburn consistently puts up between 21 and 28 every game. Both of these teams go out and play to a 10-7 game. I'm pissed at both of y'all. Both of y'all get off my bets.
Well, at least in that case, you did get some kind of recognition there as Auburn fired their head coach. So maybe that makes it a little better.
I mean, they should have. It's not good. And the roster is pretty talented, even in the SEC, for them to be as bad as they are. And then lastly, sorry, Drew, but you did hit because you did.
I told you the over was going to hit. I told you the over was going to hit.
And just like the week before, Utah almost did it themselves, but you participated enough to help out. I do appreciate that. So we went 3-3. We're 35 and 25 overall on our locks. And regardless of having a bad couple of weeks, that's a damn good record, and I stand on it. And if you go compare it to the rest of these guys around the league and around college football, and even my guy Bear on College Game Day, I'm doing pretty damn good because he picks less games than me. He only picks 3, and I put 6 on that board for you. Upsets. 21 upsets picked through, I apologize, I have to double check myself, through 10 weeks. That's pretty damn good as well. Michigan State, no thank you. Arizona State, click. Cincinnati, South Carolina, Stanford, But Kentucky, boom, we got 2 big ones this week, plus 270, plus 360. I do hope that won you some money.
Not bad. Not a bad week.
No, it was not. I did appreciate it. Although, yeah, we'll talk about my NFL bets here in a minute. However, we waited on it. Now let's get to it. Let's spice the show back up. It is time for our NFL review. However, I don't want to talk about the games right now. Talk to me about Hot Stove. Give me trades. A lot of things happened. Drew, give me the major ones that stick out to you first and foremost.
Yes. So, trade deadline officially closed. We are officially done. 6 trades just today. I'm going to add a 7th one because technically it happened overnight. First off, the Cowboys have added 2 people. We're going to start off with that. Logan Wilson from the Bengals for a 7th round pick, and New York Jets defensive tackle Quinn Williams for a 2026 2nd round pick, a 2027 1st round pick, and defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. Ken, we're going to start there. How do you feel? Gut reaction. Gonna get this taken down off YouTube, whatever.
Super Bowl. Micah Parsons, who?
Still can't stop the pass. Anyways.
That was before Quentin Williams got there. 3-5-1. He's gonna play corner too. 3-5-1 is gonna turn into 9-5 and whatever the hell it could be. I don't even remember. I don't know how to do math. We're running the
11,
table.
5-1.
Thank you. 11-5-1. That's why you graduated from college. 11-5-1, and I just talked. 11-5-1. Winning the division. We're going to the playoffs. We're running the table. This is it.
Moving on. Listen, it's a good pickup. I like it. If you were 5-3-1, I would like it a whole hell of a lot more.
I mean, yeah, if we would have just won last night, I would have been much happier. Because obviously Jerry had this stuff in the works already. He had been talking about going to get somebody, and we didn't talk about this much, but one of the original teams that they reached out for with Micah Parsons was the Jets in a swap for Micah and him. However, the Jets were not able to commit to a long-term contract. They didn't have the money. I don't know, dude. Here's the thing. The wild cards suck in both division or in both conferences so much that we're still in it. So now that we may be able to actually play a little bit better defense, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, and listen, Logan Wilson, while was on the bench for the last couple games, was a captain at the start of that season, and maybe just not being a part of the Bengals defense would help out. So
Hold on, and I don't want to derail this, but I got to do this because you mentioned it and it made me think of Jerry, and I wasn't going to rip Jerry, but he deserves to get ripped. Jerry compared him to Leighton Vander Esch, who was an All-Pro and for at least 1 year, a Pro Bowler and like a really good linebacker before the neck gave out on him and he couldn't play anymore, and was an absolute star at Boise State. I don't even know who the hell this kid is. Maybe I should. I don't care. Like what? And Jerry Jones, you're a crock. The fact that you had Stephen A. Smith sitting next to you in the booth for Monday Night Football in your suite when that dude gets on First Take every single day with his stupid ass cowboy hat and runs his mouth about our franchise and what you do in a way that's beyond just analysis, to the point where he trashes everything that you do. The fact that you were buddy with him up in the booth was just slimy, and I didn't like it.
it was just to get attention, to get the word out that they were going to make a trade. That's all it is. Also, it was a 7th rounder for Logan Wilson, so like, even if he sucks, who cares?
Yeah, I like it. I just okay.
No, I get you. Another Jets trade. This one to the Colts. Former Cincinnati Bearcat Sauce Gardner is traded to the Colts for 2 first-round picks, a 26 and a 27, and a Donnie Mitchell.
That's
wide receiver.
That's crazy. So
listen, I am a Bearcats fan. He is not worth that much.
I was going to say, how do you feel about your boy Sauce being worth 2 first-round picks and a guy who can start in the NFL?
Market's the market, I guess.
I guess so. Shout out to the Colts. I like this. I mean, they think they have the pieces to make a run. You put Sauce in there and you lock up one side of the field. Now, I'm going to be honest here, because you were very high on Sauce. Rightfully so. The man didn't give up a freaking touchdown in college.
3-time Pro Bowler.
3-time Pro Bowler. Very great beginning of his career. Has had a little... He's been able to be thrown on the last about year and a half. I'm going to chalk that right now to being a Jet. I'm going to allow the complete free slate and say I wouldn't want to have to play for the Jets either. It's awful. And when the rest of your defense is not playing well, you can be as good of unless you're Ed Reed, it's not going to really matter. So we'll see. I love the pickup for the Colts. They think they have all the pieces. You put Sauce in there, and what you're saying is you're going to have to throw it to everybody else. So we'll see. After their loss, they felt that they may have needed something, but Jets cleaning house. That's not the only big pickup, though.
Well, I will say, final trade for the Jets. Jasir Taylor, they actually got in replacement of Sauce for a 7th-round pick. Whatever. That, you know what I mean? It's a stopgap at that point. 2 more.
Hold on. There was one more Jets one that came up and didn't happen. Breece Hall tweeted that he was traded and then immediately deleted the tweet. There was something there. Now, I had heard the Chiefs were interested. I know the Patriots were on the market for a running back. I'm not 100% sure where he was going, but he thought he was going somewhere.
Yeah, and I was going to mention it, but I wasn't sure when, just because like that was a really weird thing, and obviously they'll probably.
To me, that tells me his agent told him, "Hey, this is going to happen unless," and the unless happened.
Yeah, but moving on, 2 receivers moved. Jacoby Myers to the Jaguars for a 4th and a 6th round. I think that's a great move for the Jags to finally get some help there, because. Listen, Brian Thomas Jr. has been a massive letdown.
Yeah, he's been dropping the ball a lot.
They haven't been able to rely on anyone other than Travis Etienne, and so that's a really good pickup there, I think, for them.
Travis Hunter apparently picked up a non-contact knee injury and was immediately put on injured reserve. Although I'm going to point this out just because I was told about it today, some of your fantasy rosters are not showing that, for the record. They're not even showing that he's hurt. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if the fantasy league is late to get to it, or maybe there's some ambiguity on how long he's actually going to be out. but a big pickup for the Jaguars. However, you got that mid-ass quarterback, so I don't really care who he's throwing to right now. But
We'll see.
the
They're
other
still
wide-
in also the they're also in the are in the race
Oh,
for their
yes.
for everything. So I think
Yeah.
it's a good pickup for them, regardless, just to get the offense going.
I think
Rashid Shaheed.
yes.
Go on.
No,
Okay, so
well,
Rashid Shaheed traded to the Seattle Seahawks for a 4th and a 5th rounder. The issue, I wouldn't say the issue is, the issue for Seattle is that everyone cannot stay healthy. Cooper Kupp has been consistently sidelined.
what a
Trying to think of
surprise.
I'm trying to think of the other receiver that's been
Yeah.
or there's been a bunch. And so now
Exactly.
with JSN obviously
Smith.
leading the offense, Rashid Shaheed coming in as that secondary option, I think he was severely underutilized in New Orleans. And so I think this will be really, really good. However, both are slot receivers. And so I'm going to be considered kind of how that's going to work. But regardless, I think it's going to help that team. And they're in a better position than Jacksonville is.
Yes, kind of. Although if I think Trevor Lawrence is mid, I'm not sure what we're doing over there. I think pretty sure you're thinking of Jackson Smith and Jigba, who is always banged up
JSN.
as well. Yeah.
But he's healthy right now, for now.
I like this pickup, and the problem is when you say being underutilized in New Orleans, that's because they got nobody to throw him to him. So I like that pickup. That's somebody that I really think a bigger contender even should have went for. Hi, Pittsburgh Steelers. Haha, I have your other number one receiver. You blew it.
I will say the Steelers were in for Jacoby Myers. They were the other team, but Jacksonville got the deal done first. So
yeah. And I'm surprised I'm surprised Brock Bowers or somebody else didn't move from Oakland as well. Like it's I don't know what they're doing there. Although Jacoby was openly unhappy and asked basically, "Hey, can I go somewhere, please?" He actually did it very professionally. Like was basically like, "I just want to go be happy. I'm not happy here." So when Vegas can't make you happy,
And finally, a trade that officially is waving the white flag on the season. Browns edge rusher Joe Tyron Shoyinka has been traded to the Chicago Bears along with a 7th rounder for a 6th round pick. Apparently, we're going to own the entirety of the 6th round because that's all we're trading for. I don't know what's going on. I didn't even know this dude was on my football team, and I pay attention to the Browns. So cool. I guess there was a bunch of names that were being thrown out. Njoku was being thrown out. Jerome Ford was a massive rumor there. Just to see if we could get. Obviously, we didn't see anything we liked, so just this one trade. But
no, I can't think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there wasn't a lot of activity today, at least coming from the camp, as there was in the previous week. So it seemed everything kind of died down.
I got lots of points, but no, I got 2 here. Number one, I don't know what big contender needs a tight end, but damn, adding Njoku would have been wow. But most of them have decent tight ends. Detroit's, Kansas City's, even Buffalo. A lot of them have a good tight end. So off the top of my, even New England. So I don't
honestly.
Know.
I will say
maybe,
with the Packers losing Tucker Kraft,
there
that could have been one, but obviously nothing came of light.
Yeah, but those bums ain't got no more money. So yeah, paid all that money for that guy to help you lose this week. I'm not bitter.
It wasn't his fault. It was the offense's fault.
I'm just a bitter hater right now. Okay, just let me be a bitter hater. My other point, and this is not Browns related. This is anytime this happens, but I'm gonna pick on the Browns here. When you have to trade a player and a pick to just get a pick that's 1 round higher, what the hell are you doing? Are you just like are you clearing his $300K off of the
Like I
what?
think that's literally what it is.
Okay, whatever. I don't know what the league minimum is, but I can't believe the guy was making much more than that if you don't even know who he is. All right. Are we actually going to talk about the games?
Yes, but I think the first thing I want to say, I'm going to put it up on the screen. Is anybody in the NFL good?
No.
Is truly anybody good? Because I have watched so much. I've watched more NFL football this season, I think, that I've watched the past like 2-3 years. Well, 1, because the Browns were bad, but 2, just because I don't typically watch NFL that much, but I've watched it a lot this year. What's going on?
This has been the NFL for years. No one is willing to admit it. This is why I spend my Saturdays watching every single college game that I possibly can from whistle to whistle from noon to 2 o'clock in the morning. And then when I come home on Sundays for football, I turn on the Red Zone channel and I don't care anymore. Or after these past couple weeks after soccer, straight taking a nap through the 1 o'clock window and waking up during the 4 o'clock window and going, huh? Who's playing? Everyone sucks. Every one of these quarterbacks is mid except for like 3. And this is why college football is so superior to the NFL. And yes, I am salty because I lost to some damn bum Redbirds, which also blew my damn parlay. That's what makes me more angry. And yes, you already know I'm gonna let the hate flow, but I ain't doing that corny laugh that you do. I love you, Pops. The Ravens were 28-6 winners over the Dolphins because the Dolphins are crap. And why nobody went and got Jalen Waddle is beyond me, because what that guy did do was absolutely shine as a number 2 wide receiver behind Tyreek Hill and a decent quarterback. There are a lot of teams with a decent quarterback who could have used the number 2 wide receiver. Pittsburgh.
So I'm going to say this. Yes, Miami is bad, but it's also the same Miami team that blew out the Vikings that, if we're going to go 2 down, just beat the Lions.
And here, there you go. It's parity at its worst. Some people are like, no, you never know who's going to win. No, I actually like to have good teams. And like, I like them to go 13 and whatever and have a lot of wins. And then we get to the playoffs and maybe a 9-win team wins a game. And then the best teams play. Okay. I'm sorry. That's what I want in the NFL.
No, I agree. Like, I think people sometimes get it confused where I don't want the same teams winning 13-16 games every year. I want a different set of teams to win 13-16 games every year. I don't care who it is as long as it's not in my division. I just want really good teams. The reason why we are so amazing, like we love football so much, is we see these amazing teams assembled, like the Patriots or the Colts when they were really, really good, or the Chiefs, or the Saints, or Pittsburgh, even though I hated it, or Baltimore when they have their really good years, or the Packers,
or Dallas.
No, because I wasn't born when they did that. Anyways, but that's so, like, seeing all of this is just like, so who am I going to be excited to watch in the playoffs? I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine, brother. But here, well, let's roll on. The Bears, 47-42 winners over the Bengals. All I have to say is I'm really glad Jamar Chase and Chase Brown absolutely basically ripped their defense after the game, because that is one of the worst defensive collapse I've seen in a long time. And I know nobody cares because it was the Bears and the beat up Bengals, but they should not have lost that game. Period. End of story. That's it. However, I do want to give a shout out. Damn, Caleb Williams looks good, and damn, he should be rubbing it in all your faces. And you're lucky he's not cocky, because he's actually a humble kid that you all dragged him for being at the beginning, and now he's pooping on your teams.
The issue is, and I'm gonna say this now, right? The last draft for the Bengals, their first and second round pick, defense, right?
Yep.
Draft before that, second round pick and third round pick, defense. Year before that, first, second, and third round pick, defense. It's not the players. If you are continuously drafting guys and still giving up 47 points to the Bears, that is, again, I'm it's a theme here. It's coaching, and maybe Zach Taylor, maybe the defensive coordinator. I don't know, but you cannot give up 47 points to the Bears.
I mean, the Bears can score. I'm just gonna say.
Also,
However,
give up 23 consecutive points to the Jets and lose.
I understand that. They've drafted on defense. I mean, I know their scouting department can scout on offense, although drafting Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were not really anything. I could have done that for you.
T. Higgins,
right?
Chase Brown.
I could have done that for you in your scouting department. Something's got to give, because I'll argue that as bad as my defense is, that's worse.
Agreed.
The Vikings, 27-24 winners over the Detroit Lions. In Detroit. Whatever, dude. I don't know.
What? I don't know. And then
I have to look something up real quick. So go ahead.
But the weirder result, are you sticking on the Detroit?
Stick to this game for me.
Okay. The Vikings decided, we're gonna play good defense again, and we're gonna actually compete and hold this really good Lions offense, 24 points, and also throw and run around
Oh, yeah. There you
this
go.
Detroit defense. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I told y'all at Michigan that JJ McCarthy was special, and the dude doesn't lose. Back in playing quarterback for the Vikings, that dude's clutch. You got to give me that one. I'm sorry. He may not win a Super Bowl. He may not be Drew Brees. He may not light up the NFL. However, in the fourth quarter, and that kid's got the ball, I'm gonna do this. I stand on Justin Fields being a better running quarterback than Lamar Jackson. He can't throw worth a lick, okay, and he can't read a defense. But when he takes off, he is more electric than Lamar Jackson is. I don't care. I'll die on that hill. JJ McCarthy got some Baker in him. That dude's got the ball late in the fourth quarter, and they've got a chance to win the game. I'm scared because that dude is going to do whatever it takes to make a play to win this team the ball game. You got to give me this one. Sorry. Moving on. Panthers, 16-13 winners over the Green Bay Packers. Listen, I'm going to ride this because when they made the trade, I was told Green Bay was the Super Bowl favorite in the NFC right next to Philly, and they were going to dog walk the whole rest of the NFL. And they're out here dropping games to bums.
I mean, I will say Carolina is now over 500.
Woo!
But they should be winning this game, and two, this offense is the most hot and cold offense I've ever seen. They have 3 to 4 options every time they drop back to pass, and yet they can't get them to any single one. Even though last week against a much better defense, they dropped 35 points, and I would say that offense looked the best it's looked all year. And so I don't know what to think about this Packers team because there is no consistency whatsoever.
I sound like a hater, but it's half hate and half rational. Like, you cannot tell me this is a Super Bowl favorite and you go and lose to Carolina. And whoever they lost to someone else this year, I can't remember, that was a bum team too. Like, they're so inconsistent. And here's my thing. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you are a bum team. Sorry.
No, I will fully admit that.
And I'm sorry. And you tied me. Gave up 40 points. This Jordan Love is one of them, and this is not Packer hate. This is just strictly Jordan Love. He's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Period. If he played for the Cowboys, y'all would kill him. That's all I'm gonna say. Moving on. The Chargers. Whatever, dude. 27-20 to the Titans.
Come back against the Titans.
Yeah, had to come back. The fact that you gave up 20 points to the Titans is terrible, although I had to start Cam Ward this week, so I appreciate it. 20, whatever. I don't care anymore. The Patriots struggle bust, but win the game 24-23. Are you in yet? This team is
I was until this game. Because how are you almost losing to the Falcons? I'm sorry.
I mean, because every once in a while, the Falcons do play good.
Yeah, they did beat the Bills this year. But no, no.
I know. I just want to ride this Patriots team. I listened to too much Bill Simmons. He's high on him. The San Francisco 49ers, 34-24 winners over the Jackson Dart only New York Giants. I mean, the Giants are probably going to lose out. I would contemplate possibly sitting Jackson Dart at some point later on because you
Commanders.
don't have what?
I said, yeah, you should bench them, Commanders.
Oh, we'll get to that. I'm gonna go off. You don't have Cam Scatterbo. You don't have Malik Neighbors. They're not going to be back possibly until sometime later next year. Do not hurt a franchise quarterback because we'll get to the other team in your division. That is a word that we're not allowed to say anymore, and that I don't say, but I want to use to describe this franchise because I don't know how else to describe how stupid they are. We'll get there in a minute. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I got to give them some dap. I have been dogging this team for a while. for many weeks because I said the offense is unpredictable or is predictable as hell, and Aaron Rodgers can't throw it down the field accurately. 27-20 winners over the Colts. The defense, though, is where I'm impressed. 27 points can win you the game in the NFL. Sometimes it's a good score. Sometimes with some of these teams, it's not. Holding a team to 20 is going to win you a lot of weeks unless you're the Green Bay Packers.
No, I think you're right. I think now is the true test for Indy because Daniel Jones turned the ball over 5 times. 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles. What is next? What is going to be the next thing here? Because you are going to face really good defenses again. And listen, Pittsburgh looked pretty bad defensively for the past couple weeks. And so this was a new bar, but you're also going to face teams that have really good defenses again. And what are you going to do then? You play the Broncos again, and the Broncos have a really good defense.
Danny Dimes was riding a big high of not playing great teams, having the freedom and the non-pressure of not having to play in New York and being able to play in Indy where they're thirsty for a good quarterback. They actually wanted him over the guy that over Anthony Richardson because they're kind of tired of that kid. Although I think it's he should have never left Florida, but we're not doing that today. He had a little high there. Yeah, we remember you, Danny. We got game footage on you, broski. A lot of it as well. And when you're pressured and it ain't all flowing easy, you ain't good.
But now what? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Here's the only thing, though. And I'm the good coaching that is there in Indy. If you're as good as we think you might be, this is a blip, this is a hiccup, and we keep rolling and we go again. Yes, maybe we lose in the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. But yeah. The Broncos, 18-15 winners over the Houston Texans. I mean, I figured this one would be like 27-24, but the Broncos defense is legit. I will say that is a good defense. CJ Stroud took a very nasty hit as well in that game. Yeah, he's going to be out. That one was not good. But the Broncos keep doing enough to win. I mean, they're staying. Yeah. They're there. I mean, that division isn't. Kansas City's not world beaters. They're on their way out. I mean, or they're on the outside looking in. So,
I'll give Sean Payton a lot of credit because he's kind of coaching really well to get this wins. But I think, this offense entirely is going through a sophomore slump and just kind of need to just keep moving.
We also kind of owe Sean Payton a bit of an apology. However, Sean Payton is a D word, okay? Whichever one of those ones you want to pick. He self-admittedly too. But number one, he's a winner. Number two, he was right on Russell Wilson, regardless of how he treated him, which I don't agree with still to this day. And even the shots that he took when they played the Giants was just completely unnecessary. And I got Russ's back fully on his response of basically calling him out. But he was right on Russ's play. And he was right on needing his quarterback to come in to run his system, giving him time, and he's going to win ball games. And it doesn't look like the New Orleans Saints, but they're winning like the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
So that's one there. I'm not touching your graphic this week.
Thank you.
Jacksonville, 30-29 winners over the Raiders. The fact that you gave up 29 points to the freaking Raiders is ridiculous. I do want to point out.
Oh, go on.
I do want to point out this Jacksonville defense was like plus 13 or like it was either 13 or 15 through like the first 4 to 5 weeks of the season. I don't think they've had a turnover since. It has been dried up on that defense, and you see it giving up 29 points to the Raiders.
But congratulations are in order. Cam Little breaking the longest field goal record with 68 yards. Dude hit one from 70 during the preseason, and so this was probably bound to happen. He was kind of struggling earlier this year, but what a way to kind of get back into a groove for the kid.
Dude, I mean this very much because I have watched this field goal. 68 could have been like 75-78. He cleared that thing. He did not squib that thing over the upright. He made that thing amazing. He was closer to the uprights behind him than he was to the ones he kicked to. That's ridiculous. These kickers are crazy. And literally, I'm gonna point this out. It was maybe 5 years ago that the NFL committee was contemplating getting rid of kickers. The idea was floated at the coaches' meetings because they were so bad, they were missing extra points. What do we need to do? Do we need to potentially eliminate field goals? Whatever it was. And now, kickers are one of the most lethal weapons in the NFL right now, because even when I don't get across the 50, I still might be able to put some points on the board. They're gonna close the uprights in. I guarantee it. In a couple years, if we continue with the Brandon Aubreys and these other kickers, they're gonna bring the uprights in and make it harder. I guarantee it.
And I think what also is a good point here is they are now allowing what the offenses have been allowed to do, which is break in game balls, use them throughout the season, use those same game balls. They had to use completely new kicking balls every single week, which I think that plus backing the extra point up hurt a lot of kickers because they just were not used to it. Now they're able to use the same kicking balls that they're using every season. They're going to get comfortable. They're going to get broken in. This record, while amazing, not going to stand for more than a couple years. Quote me on that.
Give Brandon Aubrey any chance at it, and I'll take him all day, 100%. And that's Cowboys bias, but I'll stand on that because that's the best kicker in the league to me with the most lethal foot. I think he could absolutely break that. Also want to point this out because you had mentioned it as well, but I lost my train of thought for a second, so I apologize there. Yeah, never mind. I forgot it. So we'll just move on. The Rams, 34-10 winners over the Saints. Don't care. You were supposed to. That's fine.
The only team that actually did what they needed to do this week.
Right. Absolutely. Chiefs, Bills, 4 or 5. I don't know how many times it has been. Excuse me. But every time is amazing.
Listen, Bills looking amazing, and then the Chiefs did what the Chiefs do and make it a close game. Not as exciting of an ending as other iterations, but still a great game, still a good watch. And listen, it was probably the only one I wanted to watch on the 4:00 slate, and it gave me something to entertain guys. So
we're gonna do something that I don't normally do, and that's we're gonna skip to my team because I'm saving this for last. So we'll skip ahead to last night. Here you go. I'll give you your little. Yeah, I was putting it up there too. Here's your little get bag. It was the Monday night score. I'm gonna give you the SpongeBob meme. 27-17. The Cardinals beat up my boys. Listen, our defense sucks. If we're gonna fumble and not score points, we're not gonna win the game. Period. End of story. Shout out to George Pickens for the penalty as well, because that was very much needed. A drive killer there that maybe could have given us a chance to get another touchdown. But, dude, I like the funny part on this one for me in the NFL, and I'm going to throw it to you. You can't make fun of me when I make fun of your team, because I've said before we traded Michael Parsons that my defense sucked. We're not going to win, but we're going to score some points and make them kind of fun. And guess what we did? We scored a little bit of points, made it kind of fun, and still lost.
Yeah, I was going to say, one, that's what you get with George Pickens. You're going to get a great receiver that has attitude problems. That's just what you get with him. Yep. 2, you did make the game fun. The game should have been 34-27 or something like that to actually make it interesting. 27-17, not a fun score. So, no, you didn't make it fun. Monday night was kind of just dumb.
Yeah, so was my parlay that I cashed out for $1.77. Thanks a lot, Dallas. I'm gonna make that $1.77 go though. Let me tell you that. All right. I need to really police myself here with my words because I want to just yell and cuss. I know I shouldn't care because it's the team in my division, so I should just want their downfall. But I'm so tired of this. Seattle 38-14 winners over Washington. The story of this game, though, late in the fourth quarter. Down 38-14. Washington still has Jaden Daniels in the game. And because the kid is an absolute warrior, and I love to watch him play, This is the worst part about the Giants and the Commanders being on my division, because they have two quarterbacks that I love to watch play the game of football, in Jackson Dart and Jane Daniels. Jane Daniels trying to extend a play, rolls out, gets tackled, puts his arm down to brace his fall, and it completely bends the wrong way. Gruesome, nasty looking injury. When are we going to talk? We've talked about it a little bit and it died down some. This is the worst run franchise in terms of protecting the franchise that I have ever witnessed in the history of sports. You ruined RG3, and he was a generational effing talent. You're ruining Jaden Daniels, who is a generational talent, and mix in everyone else in between that you've ruined as well. The linebacker from Ohio State, who was supposed to be an absolute monster, as well. How many of these guys are you going to run into the ground, into injury, and put in harmful positions before somebody realizes that nobody in that office and nobody on that coaching staff, regardless of who owns the team, knows what the hell they are doing?
So I wouldn't say I'm caught in between two minds, because I'm not. It's less of who was in the game, and I think more of what was being called. So, like I said, you're down 38-14. This game is pretty much over. You punted the previous possession down 38-14. So you obviously were done. You gave up on this game, because if you truly cared about winning that game, you would have gone for it. That's just how that works. Obviously, they're in the red zone. They have a chance to score. That score in itself means nothing. There is barely any time on the clock. That means nothing. But regardless, if you are down that scoreline, no matter where you are on the field.
And I apologize. I said they were down 38-14. No, they were down 38-7. That makes it even worse.
You running a read option play with your quarterback to potentially get injured doesn't make sense as a head coach, because whenever you are down that much, the instant thought is, when should I take these guys out to stop them getting hurt, when it's less to gain than it is to lose. And I think the issue is you have a very old school head coach that has a set in his ways, and it was the same way when RG3 was there, because I'm pretty sure what Ron Rivera was there. He's Shanahan, I'm sorry. But again, a very old school head coach who is going to play the way he wants to play. And so when you look at it in terms of this, it is a team and a culture that, yes, wants to play hard and also play hard for the team, but isn't smart in doing so. And in itself is hurting players, because they don't understand that these players, and especially these younger players and these newer type of players, are getting hurt more and more often because of the positions that they are getting put into. And so, to wrap up the point, am I mad at Washington for keeping Jaden Daniels in the game? No. Am I mad at the Commanders for running a read option play to give Jaden Daniels, who is known to go in bad into hits? We saw that in college. It hasn't changed much in the NFL. And it's also, because of the culture, going to put his life, or not his life, but put his body on the line for a meaningless touchdown for him to get hurt.
And has also been hurt multiple times this year. Not once, multiple times. Has missed multiple stretches of games because he keeps getting hurt. And you're running him on a quarterback option down 38-7. That's fireable. And I'm sorry. We don't do this very often, but I vehemently disagree with you. You have backup quarterbacks for 38-7. That is why they get paid to be on your roster, because when you are down 38-7, the $80 million franchise quarterback should not be in the game. Period. End of story. Especially when he's been hurt multiple times this year, when he plays the way that he plays, and you're not in the race for a damn thing. All you did was put that kid's career on the line, and I don't remember which arm it is, so I don't know if it's his throwing arm or not. Regardless, you're looking at a guy who, throwing arm, even worse. You may have killed the kid's career before it actually had a chance to truly take off. And now we're going to be sitting here in a couple years rolling back-to-back game footages of RG3's one playoff win before they ran his ACL out, and Jaden Daniels' one great playoff win or two great playoff wins before they ran his arm out. What the hell are you doing, Washington?
But I just wanted to clarify. My point was a handoff is if he is arguing to stay in the game, hand off the football, you're on the 2.
And here's the other thing. I don't think he's a great quarterback. He was a great college quarterback, but these are about skill sets. You match your backup to have the same skill set as your starter, just obviously a tier below. It's why the Ravens keep trotting out Tyler Huntley when Lamar Jackson gets hurt. You have Marcus Mariota who does the same crap. You could have ran the damn 4th and 1 with him and then handed it off to the running back like you did the next play after he got hit to score your meaningless ass touchdown. I don't want to talk about Washington anymore. Idiots.
All right, well, that's all we got.
Yes. Teams on a bye this week. Tampa Bay, shout out to Baker. Philly, I hate you. I hope you lose next week. The Jets and the Browns both lost the bye week. Actually,
happiest I've been on a Sunday.
Yeah, you had a great Sunday because you didn't have to watch them. Not only did the Jets lose the bye week, they then cleared house and evicted everyone. All right. My bad. I watched it. I tweeted about it. I posted about it. It went to my threads. Like, shut up. Oh, and I didn't let this slide, and I want smoke today. I'm going to question all your ball knowledge if you don't think that I've got the best kicker in the league. And yes, we went for it instead because we're stupid. All right. Let's talk footy. Actually, no, pull that down. Oh, yeah, no, keep that up. We'll take a break after footy. Yes, we did kind of good this week, actually. 34, so 36, or 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So we are 40-17. I didn't get to update my Cowboys loss. Lions and Cowboys blew the parlay. But, dude, we are killing it versus the money line.
No, you were doing really, really good. It's just it's always 1 or 2 every week.
Yeah, every week. I shouldn't put them together, and I think at this point you guys know you shouldn't put them all together. But damn it, we're gonna get one of these. I promise you, we're gonna hit big on one of these fairly soon. All right. I think it is only fair after the ridiculous amount of yelling and ranting and almost cussing and partially cussing that we take a step back and talk about something that's bigger and better than all of sports so that we can kind of reset where we're at.
Today I want to talk to you about Ani's Army Foundation. Started by Mark and Lynn Meyer to honor their daughter Annika, Ani's Army Foundation was formed to raise money for the research of medulloblastoma tumors and other pediatric cancers, while making a positive impact on the community and helping those families in need. Here on the website, anisarmy.org, you can follow Ani's story, a story of strength and the love that her family has with her and she has with them as she fights this battle. Here on the website, if you can, please donate via Venmo, credit card, PayPal, cash, or check. Any donation is loved and any donation is appreciated. Thank you.
Big shout out to Ani's Army. I was able to share a couple things through Facebook. Just listen, man, please go check it out. It's all I ask. I don't want to be a salesman. I don't need to be a salesman. Just go check it out, anisarmy.org. It will also link you to the Facebook page where you can follow their journey as a family. Please, amazing. You don't have to donate, just for us on behalf of the Straub Bros Sports Show, specifically Big Bro here. Please go check it out. Wardrobe change. Let's hop into the footy, big dog.
Yes, absolutely. And listen, mostly very results that made sense. Especially mine. No matter how bad we seem to be, 3 points lane is alive and well. 1-0 Chelsea on the road against Spurs. Absolutely amazing. I'm gonna skip yours real quick. 2-0 Liverpool over Aston Villa, as they seem to have righted the ship, including a 1-0 win over Real Madrid today in the Champions League.
That's the bigger result, though.
Absolutely. Well, they've been taking care of it in the Champions League. I think getting back into the league, I think, is good for them. And Manchester City stomp out a hot Bournemouth team 3-1 with Haaland getting 2 of those goals there. But we're going to go over to Ken. Ken, you were flying high. And then a little bit of a stumble here, not a complete falter, but a 2-2 draw to a Forest team that is still trying to kind of find its identity after the sack of Ange Postecoglou. What are your thoughts?
I don't want to skip over and right into me yet. Let me throw some thoughts there. I got to give Liverpool credit because I buried them last week and they showed everybody, not so fast, my friend. We still here. Manchester City, yes, absolutely destroyed a red-hot Bournemouth team. And Erling Haaland now has more goals than about 7 or 8 different Premier League teams. So although we made fun of him, the service was there and he took care of that. And also, I always listen. I know we have a rivalry, and I know I like to see you lose sometimes, but not when you play Spurs. Hammer them 3-point lane. First of all, that's a Manchester United slogan, so don't you be taking my 3-point lane, but I'll let you borrow it. That was Ryan Giggs, and that's what they used to call Spurs.
That was Frank Lampard when calling Spurs, so I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, that's fine. We'll agree to disagree there. But 2-2. Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. Here's what I will say. We didn't lose. Okay? All right? No, I disagree. This was not a bad week. If we lost, I would have been pissed. However, that's now 5 games unbeaten. That's still a nice little thing going on there with Ruben Amorim. We should have won this game. Bruno had an opportunity that just went wide. That if it doesn't, it's a 3-2 victory and we win this game. They scored 2 very quick goals in less than a minute. One, I'm going to put a question on a handball but I'm not going to get too dive into that. But hey, listen, these are the games we didn't win last year. We didn't win it, but we didn't lose it. We was right there. We scored goals. We came back. There's something to find here still.
No, I think you're right. I think the defense, I would say, the issue is I think the defense is a problem, but isn't an unfixable problem in terms of you can buy someone, but I think honestly, if you give these 3-4 guys some time to just figure out the system and play more games, the defense is going to just naturally get better.
And we're looking to upgrade.
And I know you're looking to upgrade. However, I think that this is one where I think you don't need January right now. I think you play out the season, figure out your pecking order, sell off the top player that you don't need, the access, and maybe if you really want, if no one's impressed you enough, get that one signing to lead that back line.
I absolutely agree. Although there's something that could potentially happen in January that I would be extremely excited about, and that is the potential of a switch from Barcelona to Real Madrid from one aging striker, Robert Lewandowski, a veteran presence up there to come off the bench. Listen, this team is flying high, but very still under the radar. Thanks to my guys in Liverpool who are struggling. Benjamin Sesko has not looked good so far in the Premier League, and Zirkzee is not a great option off the bench. So to be able to bring in somebody with that kind of quality, I think would be really great for this team. The last couple of times that this team has been able to actually be successful enough to play second in the Premier League and actually make the Champions League, Radamel Falcao, or I'm sorry, not Falcao. He dropped the ball. Zlatan, Ronaldo, and my Argentinian boy that I cannot think of right now.
Cavani.
Yeah, Cavani, Edison Cavani. Veteran goal scorers who know what to do when they're in and near the box. That's what this team, other than a left back and another center back, that's what this team is desperately missing. Bruno can score goals, and Bueno can score goals. Dallo can score goals. Harry Blockhead Maguire gets his head on some headers. Cunha is finally starting to score. We need the striker. We need our 9 to be putting goals in the back of the net. So I think that would be a great pickup. But I do agree with you for the most part. I just want this team to keep playing in this system, and it will continue to get better. And you didn't.
No, I think I did not get you a table, and I apologize for that.
Okay.
No, I think you're right. I think this is your okay. This system works. Who works the best in the system, and who needs to just clear out? I know you hate when I do this, but it's exactly what I did last year. Where okay, the system works. We may not be top tier yet, but the system works. And then we moved on. We figured out Cuckoo wasn't working. We figured out Jackson, while good, wasn't the true person that we needed, was too inconsistent. We got rid of some of our wingers. We cleaned out the midfield. And then now we go, okay, here is our top ones. Now we can buy sporadically when we need to. And I think that's the process you're currently going through, which is a great sign because you haven't had that yet in the past 2 years.
It's different.
It's different. It's so different.
It's different because I don't want it to be yours. And Nady, that's 1 point for a draw. Premier League table, I'll give you a bit of an update. Currently, Wolves, 2 points on the season. They are going down. We both predicted that for like 2 years now. We're finally going to come true on that one. Said tied team, Nottingham Forest, also in 19th place. And then West Ham, currently sitting in that last relegation zone. However, because I have a West Ham fan at home or at work, they play Burnley this week. With a win there, they could get themselves out of relegation.
And they had a big win against Newcastle this weekend. Crazy how when you fire Graham Potter, how much better your team gets. Congratulations for West Ham for finally getting that one through. Because listen, it's from experience, it's a brutal couple weeks before you realize he's not the man for the job.
Shout out to, first of all, none of the people watching who understand that, and the 3 people who will watch that back and catch that. Currently, Arsenal sit atop of the Premier League, Manchester City in second, Liverpool in third, Sunderland still hanging on there in fourth, followed by Bournemouth. 6th is Spurs. 7th is Chelsea. 8th is Manchester United, all sitting on 17 points. Bro, it's just good to be up here with you guys.
We're glad to have you back. It's always great when Manchester United makes some runs. Listen, the only issue here, right? I would say league positions 2 through probably you or Crystal Palace, depending on results, is very much flip-flopped. Arsenal's 6 points ahead. I know that's only
a very
2
quiet
games.
story right now.
I think it's because no one wants to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, because we're used to the collapse. We're used to this not lasting. But right now, because of Liverpool's huge dip that they did just take, Arsenal have been probably one of the more consistent, if not the most consistent team right now. And that will carry you into this Christmas break. However, I'm going to say the same thing to Arsenal fans that I told my West Ham fan that sits at the bottom. A lot of things are going to change during this Christmas break. A lot of fixtures in this next month or so. When we get through November and into December, this is going to really start to put a gap, or not necessarily a gap. That's when the table is going to really start to set itself, and we're going to really start to see when we get out of that Christmas break all right, who's in this? And I do agree with you. The better story right now, although everyone who's on that side of London will disagree with me, this race for Champions League is lining up to be even better than last year's, and
So
last
good.
year's was amazing. And now that I'm in it, y'all don't want to hear from me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, for Arsenal, I think you're right. Like, they're tied for second with us and Liverpool on goals scored at 18. Manchester City at 1 with 20. They've conceded 3 goals the entirety of the Premier League and have not given up a goal in 8 games since they drew 1-1 with Manchester City. This defense, while we say that the offense struggles and lacks sometimes, and sometimes that's true, this defense is winning them games because they're not going to lose if the other team can't score. So they're going to at least pick up a point. And so that's where I'm more interested in. If they start leaking goals, giving up 1 to 2 almost every game, then I will truly be like, okay, everyone's back in it. But until then, look kind of scary.
Absolutely, 100% agree. All right, a little long today, but that's all right. Great show today. I want to thank everybody for tapping in with us, for rocking with us today. We really, really appreciate it. As always, one more shout out to all of my all-stars, first of all, 3A and 2A, but an extra special shout out to all of my guys on the Rapids, our guys who were nominated and made it, our guys from other teams that were nominated that are now under our Rapids umbrella. And then our guys who just pulled up and were like, yo, you need somebody here? I'm here. So everybody involved in there. We had 2 amazing games as well, by the way. And it was a great weekend. We had no issues. The games were awesome. Guys had a lot of fun talking smack to their own teammates who were on opposite sides of the ball. There was a lot of love and camaraderie for both games. So big shout out to us in the PAFL for holding it down this weekend. Shout out to everybody, like I said, who was rocking it with us today, liking, sharing, commenting, whatever it might be, just watching as well. Drew, final shout outs, my guy.
1, you stole my thing. Thank you for everyone watching, liking, commenting, however you support this podcast. Appreciate it. Couple shout outs. 1, Champions League today and tomorrow. Great games today. Hopefully even better tomorrow. College basketball officially yesterday is back. Shout out to Arizona taking down Florida in an amazing game yesterday. And also shout out my Bearcats for beating the powerhouse that is West Carolina, who plays Duke next. But hey, listen, I'm
Ladies
just happy
and
to have
gentlemen,
college basketball back. Shut up. This is my time.
If you
can
think
talk
this
about
man
it
is obnoxious
after.
with Bearcats football, you don't know Bearcats basketball yet.
Well, that's because there's more games and we're actually decent most of the time. Anyways, glad to have college basketball back. Always fun to watch. I will be watching sporadically until it turns March. Then I will be watching religiously. And I think that's about it.
First NCAA parlay didn't hit, but it did okay. There's a lot of Southwestern states right now that's not really helping out with these spreads and that. But hey, college basketball is back. I love me some college basketball, which also means the women are almost coming back. And that means a whole lot of Hannah Hidalgo. So just get ready now. Okay, my Irish girls.
Thank God we don't got Straub Bros of the week anymore, because that was every week.
Oh, I know. And I may bring it back just for her. But yes, as Lil Bro said, we appreciate everybody. And we'll be back Thursday for our full college football, NFL, and EPL preview. We've got some, I will say this, we've only got 2 ranked matchups, so we're going to dive into those, but we've got a lot of other good games. And as you learned on this review, when I put them on that sneaky watchable list, you better tune in because they're going to be good games. So that'll do it for us. I will see you, and he will see you in 2 days for the preview. That'll do it for us here on the Straub Bros Sports Show. And as always, please remember to love yours. And also, last shout out to all my guys. I'll throw them up now and get them in there. Ray and Nate, I'll see y'all in a little bit. Love yours, and we'll see you soon.
Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this Sports Town.